Hello everyone. So let us discuss the first three problems from the latest Lead Code Weekly Contest 269. So I think that this problem is also very easy. Yesterday's bi-weekly was also very easy. So let's discuss them in a very quick manner. As you can see that the first person has solved all the four problems in just 9 minutes. I do not know how they can, but yeah, they have submitted. So the coding lord is the lord itself. So let's discuss the first three problems. It's very easy. You can just directly skim over them. So the first problem states that find the target indexes after sorting array. So it just simply means that you have given some nums vector or array and you just have to sort them out, and you just have to find out after sorting them out you're also given some target value. So which number is equal to target, you just have to print out the indexes of that. So what you can see here is that, just take the first example. This is the nums that is given to you. After sorting it will become like this, and you're looking for 2. So whatever index are there which has a number 2 in them, like the number that have 2 in them, print out their indexes. So the first index, like the first number and the second number, both of them has 2 in them, so just print out their indexes. That's the whole thing. So I directly moved out of the code part. You don't have to do anything. You just have to sort this whole vector out and then make a vector for answer, storing out what are the indexes that we have to use. And then what you have to do here is just iterate over all the numbers, and then whenever you find out that any number is equal to target, just push that index of that number into the vector itself and just print out that vector. So that's the whole problem. Nothing much complicated. Also constraints are very small, so yeah, this is not too difficult. The second problem states that, I'll give you in a very small way. It states that you can see that there's an array that is given to and an integer k. Okay, that an array and integer k. Now what you have to do here is that, let's say that you have to find out some window. Okay, the window is such that if you take any number as the middle point, you have to go k steps to the left and k steps to the right. As you can see, let's say that it is some sort of a weight balance sort of thing, that if this is the midpoint that is on this index 3 and the number that is given to you is 3, you have to take let's say window of 3 here, 3 there on the left side and 3 on the right side. So total length is 3 on the left, 3 on the right, and the number itself. So there are 7 numbers in total. So I hope you get the point. I'll draw it out also. So let's say that you have some array. Okay, so let's say that you have some number that is 3. Okay, so 3 means that if you take this as a middle element, the window you're talking about is 3 to the left, 3 elements to the left, this element itself, that is some sort of a pivot element, and 3 elements to the right. So this is the window you're talking about. Now what you have to just do here is just find out the average of this window. Okay, now for all the middle points, so let's say if you take this as a middle point, if you take this as a middle point, for every number if you take a middle point, you have to like shift this whole window, or like this whole whatever you can say, like a sequence. Okay, find out, it's like if you want to take this as a window and the window has this as a middle point, what is the average of all the numbers in this window? That's the whole problem. Now for every point to be the middle point, you have to just find out that. Now if you take this as a middle point, the obviously the window will go out of bound, and for that case the answer will be -1. Else for this case, as you can see, the window is inbound, and you just find out the sum of all of these numbers and divide it by total number of numbers. Now what you can simply observe in this problem is that the total number is always constant because the window size is constant. What you have to do here is that if you want to find out for this mid, and if you want to find out for this mid now, instead of finding out like for this mid completely in a new manner, so for this mid you have to go and add k elements to the left and k elements to the right. Instead of that, what you can do here is you can use the sliding window technique. So if you find out the sum of all the numbers in this window which has this as a middle element, let's take some another pen. If you find out the window that is having this as a middle element, then what you can do for finding out a middle element, like a window that is having this as a middle element, what you'll do, you subtract out the last element and add the next element. In this way you are shifting your window. So if I draw it out to make it more clear, if this is the let's say array you have, and just draw at a window of size 3, that is, this is the middle element. Okay, and this is the window. Now if you want to find out for, let's say, this mid, the window will be like this, because this is the middle. You have to go one step left and one step right. So let's say for this k equal to 1, so one step left, one step right. So if you have this window and you want to convert it to this window, in only one step. Like I don't have to recalculate it whole. What you can do here is, what is the intersection between these two windows? This is the intersection. This is the same part. Okay, just have to remove the last element and add the next element. That's the whole thing out. What you have to do here is just remove all the last element from this window. So you have this window total sum. Just remove all the last element from this window and add the next element which you want to move in this window. And thus this window will shift like this. And thus the total number of elements will be same, that is 2k plus 1. So total sum you have divided by 2k plus 1, you just print out the answer. And if at any point of time you just go out of bound, then just print out that it is all negative. So initialize the whole array with -1. And for whatever answers you can find out, just like store that answer. So that's the whole logic for this problem. I can show you the code part now. Okay, so what you have done here is that I have taken a vector that is storing out, that will store out actually my final answers, that is initialized with -1 all. Okay, now if at any point of time, what you can directly see here is that my maximum window size, like any window size, is equal to 2k plus 1. If the total length I have is already less than n. Okay, so let's say that my array is such that I have an array of only size 3 and my k is equal to, let's say, 3. So I will be having a window that is equal to 2k plus 1, that is equal to 7. But my array is only of size 3. How can I make a window in that array? So in that, the answer is already -1 for all of them. So just return out the answer. Or else that case is neglected, that it means that now I have an array such that its length will be greater than 2k plus 1. So I can at least form one window in that. So what I can do here is first find out the sum of the first window. That is the sum of the first window, that is add the 2k plus 1 element from the start. So first window is done. Now the middle element is the k element of this first window. Now how many windows are left? So I have taken the 2k plus 1 elements I have taken. So n minus 2k plus 1 elements are left. So for those I can make a window. So what I'll do, I'll do a for loop from 0 till that. And what I'll do, I'll first store out my answer for this middle element. So because I've calculated the window total sum in this, I will just like take my answer of mid, because answer is storing out the average. Answer is equal to total, that is the total I have, divided by 2k plus 1. Okay, after that what I'll do, I will shift my window. How can I shift my window? So if I have mid minus k element, I have to remove. So because mid is the element I have on the middle, mid minus k elements, if you go k steps back, that is the element I have to remove. And k plus 1 element, because k is the next element, but I have to add k plus 1 element, because I want, like, I'm shifting it out. So k plus 1 element I have to add. Okay, so mid plus k plus element and mid minus k element you have to remove. That is what I've done. And then I have to also move my mid, because the whole shift, like the window is shifted, but my mid is the same. So I have to also shift my mid, because mid means that I'm shifted to the new window. Okay, and that is how, like, you can just print out all the mids in this answer vector and just print it out. So it's nothing much. It's just like a sliding window technique with a total window length of 2k plus 1. Nothing else. Just a very simple problem. Okay, and let's move on to the third problem, removing minimum and maximum from array. So I also give you a brief over this problem. It states that you are given nums that is having a different distinct numbers in nums. Now what you have to do here is that you have to remove out elements from either the start or either from the end. Okay, so you can keep on popping out elements from the start or the end, and you have to remove the minimum number of possible, such that you will remove out the maximum and minimum number from this array. Okay, so you have to first find out what is the maximum and minimum number from this array. So as you can see from the example, first example, the maximum is 10 and the minimum is 1. Now you can remove out elements from the start or the end, anywhere possible, and you have to remove out minimum number such that the maximum and minimum number will be popped out from this array. That's the whole problem. Now you might be thinking, like, how can I do this? Maybe it might require DP approach or anything. But just think that what are the possible cases it can be? Like, there are only 4 cases possible, or actually 3 cases possible. Okay, and that's the whole thing. You just have to write down the 3 cases, nothing else, and it just passed out. Okay, so let us talk about what are the 3 cases. It will become very intuitive if you just draw it out. I highly recommend you to first draw out the problem, because that will actually give you some idea or some hint key in which direction you have to move. Okay, let's take the same example, that is 2 10 7 5, 2 10 7 5, 2 10 7 5, 4 1 8 6. So 4 1 8 6. Okay, so let's take one more. Yeah, okay, this is fine. I will remove out this part. Now what you can see here is that this is the maximum element. Let's just change the pen so that will become more clear. This is the maximum element and this is the minimum element. Now I have to pop it out. Now because you can only pop out from the extremities, one of the possible way can be, let's think about the one of the possible way. I keep popping out from the left. So which means that I first popped out 2, then I first pop out 10, then 7, then 5, then 4, then 1. This is one of the way, because either I can keep popping out from the left, and whenever I like extract out both the elements, then it is done. This is one way possible. Okay. The second, like keep popping from left. Okay. The next can be keep popping out from the right itself. Okay. This is the same thing. What you can do is just pop out the last element, then this element, and keep popping out till we pop out both the maximum minimum element. We can find out the maximum minimum element indexes in O of n in the start only, so that we know at which position maximum minimum element are, so you can directly pop them out. Okay, so that can be one of the approach. Keep popping from right. Okay, now the last option can be keep pop this element which is closest to the left from the left side, and which element to the right from the right side, because that is the other option. Like keep popping from the left, so I will pop out this, and this will be popped out, and I will pop out this and this, and so this will be popped out. So keep pop from left and right both, from left and right both. There can be no other way, as you can see. Like either it cannot happen that because I will pop out some element, like only one element, and then I will pop out this element from on the left side. It will only beneficial like in these 3 cases are only done. So let us talk about each case individually and see how can we do that. Let us change my pen again. Okay, so the first case is keep popping from the left. So if I keep popping from the left, so let's say that this index is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Okay, so what you can see here is that if I know the index of the first element, that is equal to 1, and the index of this element, that is equal to 5. Okay, how many elements? Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if I somehow pop 6 elements, so I know the index of this, I know the index of this, I can directly find out the maximum of them. Maximum means that what is on the extreme. So if I take the index, I will get the maximum that is equal to 5, like maximum of both of these indexes. One index is 1, one index is 5. Okay, then if I take the maximum of both of them, it will tell me which is farther along the left side. So which is farther along the left side, I have to extract till that point, because I'm only extracting from the left side. I hope you're getting the point. If I'm only extracting from the left side, what I can do here is I will keep popping from the left. If I keep popping from the left, at which point I should go? I will go to the farther mode point. Which is farther? Farther is 5, but the index is 5, but the number of steps I have to do is 5 plus 1, that is 6. So I will find out the maximum of this position, that is 1, 5, and plus add 1 to it. That is equal to 6. That is the number of steps I have to do to extract it out from the left. So that is done. Cool. Now similarly, if I want to do this from the right side, what I'll do, I will just subtract n from it. N means that because see, I cannot like reverse out the indexes. So what my basic intuition can be? What is my basic intuition can be? My basic intuition is keep popping it from the right side means that I have to find out in this the minimum from the minimum among both of these indexes. So the minimum among both indexes is 1 and 5, which is equal to so let's say, I will find out the maximum of both of them, that is equal to 5. And if I take out 5, I'll subtract it from n, that is the total length, that is equal to 8. So 8 minus 5 equal to 3. So if I take out 3 elements from the end, that is also fine. But not taking out 3, actually I have to take out this much element. So the minimum, I have to find out the minimum of both 3 and 5. Minimum means which is more subtracted from the right side. The minimum means which is the more distance from the right side. This minimum will obviously be more separated out from the right side. And if I subtract out this minimum, that is equal to 1 minus total length, that is 1, that is equal to, let's say, 7. So I will get that I have to pop out 7 elements to get, if I want to just pop out from the right side. I hope you get the point. So that is also one more thing. And the last thing is I have to pop out the one that is minimum. So one index is 1, one index is 1, that one index is 5. So I will find out the minimum of both of them. That is equal to 1 comma 5, that is equal to 1, that is equal to 1. So I will pop out 1 plus 1. So 1 plus 1, that is equal to 2 elements from the left. And what is the maximum? Maximum is 5. So max of 1 comma 5, that is equal to 5. So I will pop out n minus 5, that is 8 minus 5, equal to 3 elements from the right side. That is so equal to 2, that is equal to 5. So I hope you get the point. So in this scenario, I popped out 5 elements. When I pop out from both the ends, if I just pop out from the right, I will pop out, let's say, 7 elements. And if I pop out from the left side only, then I will get 5 elements. So minimum of all of them. So minimum of all the 3 cases is equal to 5. And that's the answer. Like 5 is the minimum number of steps you have to do. And I think so that's the answer. Yeah, 5. So I hope you get the point how we are doing this. Okay, it's not too difficult. You just have to find out what are the cases there. So it's just like one-liner code. I hope you get the point. So this is just a commented part. You just have to find out the minimum and maximum position. I'm just finding out their indexes. You can also do a for loop. Internally, this STL is also doing for loop, but it's just one-liner. You just have to find out the maximum element in this vector and find out its position. So that is finding out the maximum element and minimum element indexes. Now there are 3 cases. I have to find out among the 3 like the minimum of the 3 indexes. The first one is maximum of the position and the minimum plus 1, which I've told you. For if I'm popping out from the left side, I will have to find out the maximum of both the indexes plus 1. If I'm popping from the right side, I will find out the minimum of both of them, n minus that. And if I'm popping from both the sides, I will find out the minimum of maximum like of both these positions, which means that I'm popping from the left plus 1 and I'm popping from the right as well. So right as well. And find out and just add both of them. And just like print out the minimum of all of these 3 conditions. So I have like gone through all the 3 conditions because this is just a one-liner code. Okay, not too much. That is why they have done it in a very quick manner, because it's just a one-liner code. Okay, stay tuned for the last video also. I will be putting out the last problem also in the next video. But if you still have doubts, you can mention down. Thank you for watching this video. I will see you next one. Till I keep coding, and bye. Bye bye.